5, 4, 3.
Everybody on? Good.
Great. Grand. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus.
Headbands flashing on the beat. The 80s and 90s can't be beat. Dope rhymes and glitchy jaws. Let's blast the tape decks in our cars. 80s dreams and 90s haze. Let's recall back to our favorite days. Welcoming days.
Hello and welcome. You are listening to Totally 80s and 90s Recall. If you're new to the show, grab your backstage pass and step into the ultimate nostalgic experiences. We dive into the iconic music, blockbuster movies, and pop culture moments from the greatest decades ever, the 80s and 90s. I am one of your hosts, David, and joining me in the studio, as always, West Milwaukee, born and raised, it's my good friend Rob.
Hey, born and raised. Representing Milwaukee.
M-Town.
That's right. Today's episode goes out to our listeners that may be experiencing a moment of darkness and are in need of a little light. So the Totally 80s and 90s Recall team wonders, whatever happened to predictability? Do you know what I mean? There are just things we take for granted. For example, the milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. How did we get delivered here? Somebody tell us, please. This old world is confusing me. I can't be the only one. With clouds as mean as you've ever seen, ain't a bird who knows your tune. Then a little voice inside your head whispers, "Kid, don't sell your dreams so soon." If you're feeling a sense of despair, Dave and I want you to know that everywhere you look, there's a heart. And everywhere you look, there's a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look. Now, if you walk away from today's episode hearing nothing, at least hear this. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, a light is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look.
Yeah. You know, when you just read the words and take out the cheesy music, it sounds like a poem.
It's really good.
Very inspirational.
It is.
Everywhere you look.
It's really good.
So, well, have mercy.
That's right.
Rob. So, how's it going?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It doesn't convince me.
Why? No, I'm doing really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
I'm doing really good. I got my ginger ale.
Ah, yes.
My Canada Dry.
Yeah, I brought no beverage today.
Today's episode brought to you by Canada Dry.
Canada Dry.
Yes.
That's good.
Since 1904.
Okay. Are they aware of that?
No.
Care of the Coca-Cola company?
No, it's
or-
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think we just gave them free advertising.
We give a lot of people free advertising.
We're getting nothing.
They never take us up on it.
Yeah.
So,
No, things are good. Things are good.
Yeah. Well, last week, exciting. Inexplicably, inexplicably, we were asked back to another podcast, Children of the 80s,
Yes, we were.
that we previously appeared on,
Yes, we were.
to talk about 80s theme songs for TV shows.
Yeah.
Just coincidental what we're doing today. And even though we caused a lot of trouble the first time around,
They welcomed us back.
they brought us back.
I didn't think we caused that much trouble.
I think we caused trouble again the second time around. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, if you want to get more Rob and Dave in your life,
Yeah.
2 weeks, I think it's about 2 weeks from March 19th,
Yeah.
that episode will debut. And we're talking about 80s sitcom songs
Right.
and 70s TV show songs.
I like their format.
Yeah, it's good.
I like the bracket.
The brackets.
Sweet 16 type. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Talks to you.
Yeah.
It's basketball analogy.
You didn't like some of the some of your songs didn't make it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been multiples. The host of that show, Jim, and I have had multiple conversations
Yeah.
about some of the. You didn't like that one of them didn't go through either.
Which one didn't I like?
Chips.
That was a
Yeah,
bad one.
that was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
no.
ruining it for people, but if you're a Chips fan.
Well, that episode's already out.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we're good.
So
Yeah.
Chips didn't get into what we talked about.
No.
It never made it through,
So we didn't have a chance.
which wasn't good. So
That's all right.
had we been there that day, we could have saved it.
Oh, it would have gone through.
Yeah,
It
but
would have been the deciding
man,
factor.
they kept us off of that one.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. I think it's next week. We originally did dramas, 80s
Yes.
dramas. Well, I think the second round is like next week.
Oh.
So we get to see
What that group?
what that group now takes from our first votes, but they also add our votes in.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Hopefully.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's good.
I know what should happen. We'll see what happens. Never can predict what's going on over there with those children of the 80s.
I know.
They're a little
They're a strange bunch.
they're a little wacky. They're Georgians.
They,
They're Southerners.
I don't know very many people from Georgia.
Well, now you know too.
They're like the only ones I know.
Yeah.
Almost all the podcast people I know are from the South or
No, well, I mean, not all of them.
East, I should say.
So they're not from around us.
Anything east of the Rocky is the East
Okay.
to me.
Well, Oklahoma's
I don't go very far.
Oklahoma. We have Minnesota,
Yeah, that's true.
Georgia.
Yeah, I wasn't good at geography.
That's okay. You know where those places are.
That's like right by Idaho, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Right next door. Sure. Everyone listening, it's like, we didn't realize how dumb you were. Apparently, we're super dumb. Yep. Minnesota, Georgia, and Oklahoma, right next to Idaho. Just
There you go. Yeah,
squatted right
I
next
just
to
thought
it.
they were all kind of.
So,
Yeah.
well, we have discussed with other people 80s and 70s TV show theme songs.
Yeah.
It ties right into what our topic is for today. What is it for us, Rob?
It's a 90s TV show theme song.
Wow, we went really far on that one.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, we really stretched ourselves.
And we did not take this idea. This was already in the schedule.
It's already in.
It was in the schedule before they even contacted us
That's
to
right.
do their whole bracket.
Because we've talked about this.
Yeah.
You're the creative kind of visionary.
Force is the word I like to use.
You did say that.
Force, yes.
At our last board meeting, you said,
Yes.
I want everybody to refer to me as the Force.
The creative force.
Creative Force.
Yeah. CF for short.
Yeah.
I got those initials on shirts now. Kind of like Laverne on Laverne and Shirley. Just a CF
You're the CF.
in cursive. The creative force. So, by the way, we didn't do it today. It's not programmed, but we got a quick, before we dive in, we got a quick mention from a couple people online. They missed the Rob song. They feel like you're not being as raw without your song.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. So down the road here, we may have to tie that back in a few times because they asked for it.
Well,
Look at that. They're like, I missed the Robster being raw,
I know.
is what I saw.
I took it out.
So, no, it's not
We'll
out.
put it out next time.
It's not out. It's just on hiatus. So, all right. Well, as I mentioned previously, we've been talking about 80s TV theme songs. And in fact, we have an episode of our favorites in our back catalog.
We do.
Of
It was one of our early ones.
It's one of our early ones.
Yeah.
Where we did our favorite 80s TV
Is that
themes.
like number 2?
No. It was way down further than that.
Oh, was it?
It was in the first year,
Oh,
but
okay.
it wasn't 2. 2 was movies
Oh, okay.
of
That's
96. So, but
what I-
80s
so long
and
ago. So long ago.
it was a long time. But 80s and 90s theme songs sound quite different. 80s TV shows, they often get a full-length song.
Yeah.
It didn't get shortened very much. So they were in the 80s. It was kind of mandatory. It would be at least a minute.
Yeah.
A lot of 80s theme songs would be uplifting, emotional, or inspirational, talking about love and family and relationships. In the 90s, TV started to change, so the style of the theme songs started to change. There started to be hip hop and alternative influences into some of the songs. Intros were quicker, often trimming the tune to 30 seconds or less, and possibly repeating the music on a loop instead of writing an entire song. Less lyrical, a lot more instrumentals in the 90s.
True.
So we lost some of our cheesy, not all of them,
No.
some of our cheesy lyrics that we love from the 80s. Several shows used existing popular songs. They didn't have to think too hard on it. Or songs that were already recorded that became popular due to the popularity of the show.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so they would take a song that maybe you didn't think about and then put it in the show, and everybody's like, no, I like that song now.
That's all. Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's a shift, I think, from 80s to 90s theme songs.
I agreed with that.
They sound a little different.
They do. Yeah. I agree with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're bringing a lot to the table today. You're adding a lot in.
No,
I think we're off to a quality start here.
You said that the 80s had more like memorable lyrics.
Well,
Or
it was kind of like they had most of the songs had lyrics. There were songs that just had music, but a lot of the songs, particularly the popular ones you remember, they would have lyrics. And the lyrics
That's true.
sometimes would either talk about the show or they would have like uplifting messages in them
that's
about
true.
building the family or, these
You're
types
right.
of
And in the
things.
90s, there's lots of like cinematic
Instrumental stuff.
instrumental stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and you can tell as the 90s went on because in the early 90s, we still had some of the holdover style.
Yeah.
But then mid to later 90s, you can definitely tell that sounds are changing. It's a lot different.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I think 80s theme songs were bigger and more dramatic, often cheesier than 90s songs. The 90s still had some cheese, but the days of themes like Perfect Strangers, Growing Pains, Golden Girls,
Yeah. Those are good.
those are good.
Yeah.
But definitely changing.
That's true.
You didn't get that same kind of 90s shows seem to be more influenced by current musical trends.
Yeah.
And we're trying to sound a little more modern. And by the late 90s, many television historians say that the era of the long TV theme song was over, as networks wanted to preserve more time for the episodes themselves, so they wanted to cut out a big, long theme song.
That's true. They got right into it.
Yeah. Even on today's TV, I don't know that the theme song has the same effect it had as far as thinking particularly about a show. Like if you think about a show you watch right now, of the shows I watch, I don't think of the theme song
No.
when I think of the show.
No, that's weird. Now that you say that, I'm trying to think of like in the 2000s, a show that
That you would watch and you go, oh, that's the theme song. You don't think of it that way as much. Whereas when you watch Charles in Charge,
Yeah.
you knew the song like ahead of time. Or if you watched Full House, as you illustrated earlier, ahead of time, like before it starts, you're going to start humming the tune before the show even comes on.
Right.
And now, because a lot of them are just musical pieces, and sometimes what they do now is shows are so quick to get into the show, it'll show the name of the show like on a screen, and you'll get a quick little musical ba-doop,
Yep.
and then it goes right into the show. And then on the thing at the bottom will be like produced by such and such.
Or like a lot of shows now, they put more emphasis on the visual element.
Yeah.
And so like I'm thinking like Game of Thrones or some of those were the beginning, or even like Severance and stuff where it's got weird graphics.
Now
at the
Game of
beginning.
Thrones is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I remember that
Yeah,
song.
it's got a
Pretty sweeping.
Yeah,
But it's like a 4-minute intro.
yes, and,
So
and they really
you're gonna remember
they
the song.
really focus in on the graphics at the beginning.
Yes, that's correct.
So they're more on the
But that one I would
visual
remember.
elements
Yes.
versus.
So, but that's
It's not
one of the
something
few.
You're not going to like sing along with it. You're not.
No, it's
not
just a music.
memorable.
It's musical.
It's just instrumental.
But if I heard the instrumental, I would
would
go Game of Thrones.
You would associate.
I would do
Oh,
that.
okay.
So,
All right.
kind of like Jeopardy.
Kind of like that. That's those two go hand in hand. Jeopardy and Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's structure of the show is pretty much the same. It's a cutthroat situation to try to be the best.
Okay.
Whether you're doing it in King's Landing or you're doing it in the Jeopardy studios,
The potpourri category.
it's a fight to the death
Doesn't matter.
to be the champion. In one case, you're trying to get on the freaking throne, right? Targaryens, Lannisters. Oh, I'm trying to get on the
Are
throne.
you a Game of Thrones guy?
Oh, yeah. I saw the whole thing.
I didn't
Love
get
it.
I didn't get into it.
That's your own fault.
No,
It's really good.
I tried the
I
first
think you
season. I
missed.
think.
Well, I'll say this: the first 2-3 seasons are really good. Last probably 2 seasons are a little more disappointing
Yeah.
than I was anticipating. But there's like a bunch of those books, and they're like 9,000 pages each,
It's
so
too
it's
much to remember.
really hard to put
Too
together.
many names.
But I did like Jon Snow. He's my favorite.
I know that's what everybody.
Jon Snow.
And then he died and didn't die and come back.
No.
Like well, there's
Stop
all kinds of-
spoiling
I
the-
don't know. I
Stop
don't,
spoiling the show first of all.
I never know that. I don't know what.
Because
I just winter's
you
coming.
don't know.
I remember that.
Winter was coming.
I know that.
It came.
It came.
It was rough.
Did it leave?
I'm not going to spoil the show. It's still new enough people might want to watch it,
All right.
and then I'm not going to give it away.
Fine.
But winter was coming, did come,
Okay.
and Jon Snow was there to help.
Why do you say? Why
care.
do you say it with a British?
Because when they say it on the show, everyone says it that way, Jon Snow.
but you don't have to say it that way.
But I can't. That's how it's pronounced.
no, it's
No one's ever pronounced it Jon Snow.
Just say
It's just
Snow.
Snow. Yeah,
Say
you got to
Snow.
say it the right way.
I sold a truck to a guy.
Named Jon Snow?
His name was Jon Snow.
No, it wasn't.
It was. Swear to God.
Was he wearing a fur coat? Did he have
No.
his own wolf?
No, but then I went online and I found him, and I don't think that was his real name.
Jon Snow?
I think it was a little sketch. So, oh well. I mean, I don't own it anymore. It's his.
That's
now.
good.
awesome.
You sold a truck to Jon Snow.
I did.
That's good. Yeah.
I looked them up. I mean,
Next thing you're going to sell like a lamp to Tyrion Lannister or something.
I don't think so. Which one was he?
He was a little short guy.
Oh, yeah, he's a little person.
Yeah, a little guy.
Yeah, okay.
Also an elf.
He was an elf.
He
was
was
the
an
angry
elf.
elf.
He was the angry elf.
That's right. Yeah.
He didn't appreciate the angry elf
He did
comment,
He
but
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
we're really all over
we
the
went
place.
down Game of Thrones rabbit hole today.
So on the people's ride to work
Not-
this morning.
Not a 90s TV theme at all, but good show.
these
So
guys going?
even though you haven't watched it,
What are they doing?
so pretty graphic though. You gotta be ready. It's on HBO.
I know. I watched the first season. That's what
They
I
don't
mean.
hold back.
And there's like sexy time.
There is?
a lot of that.
Well, back in the days, that's what they did.
Is that what they did in
That's what they did.
fictional Dragonland?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In all of them, the Dothrakis were doing it. The Lannisters were doing it. The Lannisters, they were brothers and sisters, and they were doing it.
I do
So,
remember that.
Yeah.
I thought that.
I think they stole that from Star Wars, but that's okay.
that's okay. Well,
Whether Skywalkers or Lannisters,
Skywalkers weren't doing it.
keep it in the family.
They were making out.
Leia and Luke were hot and heavy.
They didn't know.
Yeah,
They didn't know.
they kind of knew.
You would have thought their
It would have been awkward.
the Force would have. They would have felt that or something.
I never understood that part.
You think they would have been like, wait.
They both have the Force. As soon as they got next to each
They're
other,
like,
shouldn't they have been like, what?
Something's weird here. Yeah.
And if the two of them were so strong together, if they both had the Force, wouldn't as soon as they got together, immediately Darth Vader have been like, hey, hold on. I'm getting quite a vibe here.
This is true.
Okay, we're not talking about... Okay,
Anyway.
Star Wars is...
Anyway.
Now we've just meandered into no man's land.
People
so.
have left.
All right. Well, a great TV theme song can always get viewers excited to watch their favorite shows. Although the days of iconic and classic TV show theme songs may be over, before it ended, some memorable ones came out of one of the best decades as we look back at our favorite TV themes from the 1990s. If I was to get married again, when we come into the reception, that's the song I would play. Like, they'd be like, for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. David O. And I'd walk into Dino's Romeo right there.
Why
That'd
don't
be
you
great.
renew your vows? And then you could like plan it all and like, do it the way you always wanted to do it.
I floated that out there.
She got to do it the first time. You get to plan the next one.
She didn't seem super excited about it.
Why?
I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. So it's not going to change anything. We're going to still be the same we are now. And I'm just going to have to
It's
feed.
not going to strengthen the bond.
And I'm going to have to pay for a bunch of food for everyone to eat.
Doesn't
And yeah, I'm going to have to hire the person who oversees.
Yeah, you don't want
Actually, you could just get ordained online, and then you can just do it for free.
No, I don't want to do it.
It's like a little thing. You get a certificate. It
I don't
takes
wanna do it.
5 seconds.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. That's not how it goes.
That's exactly how it goes.
Is that what they did at your wedding? They didn't.
No, we did not get married in like a Catholic church. So we got married at our parents' house. So, all right, Rob. Well, today you and I have collaborated that
Yeah.
we do so well together.
We do.
To develop our favorite top 10 90s TV theme songs.
Yeah.
And these are indisputable.
Indisputable.
We don't want to hear it.
No.
There's no arguments to be had.
These are really good.
This is really good.
Yeah.
So when you start coming in on the Twitterverse after you hear this
You
episode,
forgot this show.
we didn't forget anything.
No.
These are the 10. We promise you. We are TV experts. I have a degree in TV viewing arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Got it from somewhere.
And you're the CS. So there's
CF.
CF.
You forgot already.
I already
So,
forgot. Yeah.
well,
I
as a
wasn't
90s, that's an S on the end.
listening. 90s.
As a 90s expert historians that we are,
Uh-huh.
because we are certified, as a matter of fact. We went to a course, as I said. We spent many painstaking hours meeting and considering and ultimately compiling the best 10 TV themes. We went through hundreds of songs. Rob, through our hours and days of grueling preparation,
You might have gone through it.
what types of songs were you looking for, and how happy are you with our final list?
I like them. There's a few on here. Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. You approached me with an assignment
Yes.
to prep for the show.
And you did not.
I didn't prep. So,
That's correct.
so you presented me with a list of, I don't know,
Well,
dozen or so shows.
that's why I'm the CF.
There was one that I really wanted.
Yes. And we got it.
And then there was a couple I suggested that made kind of made the list. But yeah, no. So but I was looking for things that because 90s television was kind of a time where I do remember, like, there was, TGIF Friday, the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that.
Yes.
A lot of shows that we watched with the family. So these are shows that I remember.
But then as you
Didn't
were
really
getting,
watch in the 80s. I wasn't an 80s TV kid.
yeah, but as you got older in the 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, you're an older guy.
Yeah.
So you're watching your own shows. Not watching as much with the family.
No. And so that was like the one that I really wanted, because that was the one I remembered that
We-
I watched. It was my show.
We got it.
Yeah, we got it. So
Yeah. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
because it feels like you're framing this way. I didn't tell you couldn't have any songs. We went through all the songs and we listened to them.
No, we did,
and we
them.
debated them.
We did. We actually moved some out, moved some in,
Moved some in.
moved some up.
We're
We did.
we're smarter than we look.
We did. We
That's
did.
right.
We actually
So-
talked about it.
We do. That's what we do when we collaborate.
We do.
We discuss. But I was ready, so that
were ready.
I could help you. That's
You
all.
did.
So, well, before we reveal our top 10, we do have some honorable mentions. As I said, we went through hundreds of songs. These were hours were spent on this assignment.
Yes.
And so for all the hundreds of songs we went through, for all the TV shows in the 90s, and just as a disclaimer, these are the shows we picked that we were familiar with and watched.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some Nickelodeon, Disney type shows, and I'm sure there were some teenager shows and things like that people watched in the 90s that we didn't watch because we were getting into our mid teens to getting early 20s, and so we may have a different. So these are the 10 that mean the most to us. Yeah. But we do have 4 that we just missed out of our top 10. We wanted to get in. Mm-hmm. They couldn't get in. They weren't quite good enough. Right. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on this. We're just going to do a couple intros so we get little samples of the 4 that just missed. And with that, Rob, what's our first honorable mention?
Here it is. So here it comes. There it is.
I can't believe he made a whole career on that. That was good guitar.
Yeah, that was good. A little jackhammer in there.
Yeah,
No,
it's very subtle.
stuff. Yeah.
I can't believe he made a whole career on that. That was his catchphrase. Like other people had catchphrases on shows, like on Cheers when he walks in, they go Norm.
Yeah.
His was going
And people laughed.
They did
We
every
laughed.
time. You knew it was coming.
We laughed.
You'd still laugh.
I
So.
loved it. And he did different. He'd do it different dialects almost. He'd,
You could do it as a question.
Yeah.
You could do it as a sigh.
Yeah, there's
you could do it
so
as
much you could-
sadness.
Yeah, I love it.
Happiness.
Yeah. I remember his stand-up was really good. I laughed hard at his
Well,
stand-up.
that's good.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to know about this one?
you can give us a few facts.
So at home, I was thinking this.
Okay.
At home, we won't say the name of the show until we get into the description. So they can play a little game at home. They can ask themselves, do they know this?
Do they know the song?
And then score themselves at the end. See how many of the 10,
Well, there's 14.
14 that they knew.
We have 4 honorable mentions, but we'll see how many of them, and then the top 10 they'll know.
All right. So this one, it's the title of this is called Iron John's Rock.
Beautiful.
And it's actually from Home Improvement. And it was composed by what?
You just gave away the name.
It was too late.
You said we were going to go through the whole description.
No.
It's
I said,
the-
before we start the description,
It was
we'll
the
play
first one.
We'll play this. We'll play the clip.
I think the intent is we don't give away the name at all. Let's just no. That's fine. All right. So yeah, Home
We have
Improvement.
to.
I know.
It's composed by a guy named Dan Folliart. And I found some quotes. One quote said, Dan Folliart's music has flavored every human emotion.
It's good.
That's a very wide description. Using his songwriting melodic capabilities, Dan has also written many of the best remembered television theme songs of the 80s and 90s. He's created work for the shows like Roseanne, Girl Meets World, Seventh Heaven, 8 Simple Rules, Beverly Hills 90210,
Very good.
Malibu Shores, Adventures in Babysitting,
good.
movie, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Bosom Buddies. He has 35 award wins, 3 Primetime Emmy nominations, a 99 nominee for Home Improvement, a 90 nominee for a show called Carol and Company.
Good.
Not familiar with it. I don't
It
know.
was fun.
And then an 89 nominee for Roseanne.
Good for him.
And actually, the state of Oklahoma commissioned Dan to write an orchestral piece for the centennial of the land run in 1889. It's called Oklahoma Trilogy, and it's a tribute to Dan's boyhood home, and it's still performed throughout the state today. So Dan Folliard is a...
Yeah. It's coincidental that you had all that information. I saw Dan live at the Renaissance Fair in Klamath Falls.
You did not.
Yeah. 1995. Yeah.
How do you know that? You're making that up.
I mean, you can go verify that there's a Renaissance Fair in
Why
Klamath
would
Falls.
you go to the... wouldn't go to the...
Sometimes
You're
I
full of crap.
Sometimes I LARPed when I was a youngster.
You what?
So, Dan LARP, live action role play. Renaissance Fair.
What are you doing? No, you didn't.
But Dan puts on a good show. So good for him. He plays all his hits.
No.
You know, it's a good time.
No.
Yeah. You hit a turkey leg. You watch Dan. You joust a little bit. It's not that difficult.
I want to see you jousting.
So,
That's awesome.
okay. Well,
Okay.
it's time for our second honorable mention.
There you go. I love this one so much. Okay, at home, you can be guessing right now. What is this from?
I bet my wife doesn't know.
And mark your scorecards at home accordingly.
Because I'm sure they're all playing.
Yeah, they are.
I like that you think they're writing down.
They are.
Hold on.
They're running. Like, get a pen, honey. Quick.
It's not Publishers Clearinghouse.
And you can't Google it. Well, they wouldn't be able to. You don't use that little app that says, recognize this sound. I love it. That's one of my favorite ones on this list.
All right. So the theme song for this show is called Dog Pound Hop.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. So it's all instrumental, as you heard. Song was recorded by the band, very cool name, Die Screaming Lederhosens. Yes, that's the name of the band.
Yes.
A three-piece band consisting of a guitarist, a bassist, and a bongo player.
Of course.
That's the whole band.
I love it.
So even though it's a jazz instrumental piece, if you watch the show, it sounds exactly like Ren and Stimpy, because that's what we're talking about today. Ren and Stimpy. So,
Mark your cards.
it was meant to have a circus-type feel to it, and no lyrics were included because they wanted it to rely on pure instrumental madness to be in line with the theme of the show.
I love it.
Pure instrumental madness. So
I can still see the...
I've been looking online.
intro.
I have not found the Die Screaming Lederhosens touring yet, but when I find them, you and I will attend.
I want to go.
So, yeah.
I totally want to go.
I want to Die Screaming Lederhosens t-shirt.
I can still see the intro where they're...
Yeah.
like, and he's squeezing them like
Bump,
that.
bump.
Yeah. Dun, dun.
It's really good.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, all right. Third honorable mention.
Here you go. Mark your...
Spooky.
Mark your cards, folks.
I feel like no one's marking
They are.
anything. What if they're driving in their car right now?
They pulled over.
No.
And they're writing it down.
I'm not going to be late to work to write down the name of the theme.
If you're late to work, just call,
Tell them Rob and Dave.
email us and say Rob and Dave said it's okay.
Okay. That's good.
We'll give you a pass. There you go. All right. So this is an instrumental piece, obviously.
Shocking.
I found one source that said this piece is titled Materia Primorsis. Primorsis? It was released as a single in 1996 for the show The X-Files.
Ooh.
And it had some chart success.
Oh, that's good.
And it was written and produced by a guy named Mark Snow. So I have to admit something. I always thought Mark Snow...
Is he related to Jon Snow? All our Game
Dang
of
it.
Thrones comes back to
It
Mark
came
Snow?
back. No, they're not related. Well, he might. I don't know.
It's Jon Snow's cousin.
No, because I always thought Mark Snow was like a hip, young techno guy.
Sounds right.
No, he was born in 46.
Good for him.
And he also wrote the music for another Chris Carter series called Millennium, which I loved.
Ooh.
I would record it. There was I had a VCR that I could program to record, so I'd go to work. This was before.
Most VCRs programmed to record.
Well, I thought it was cool.
You didn't have a special
I figured
VCR.
out how to do it. And
Well,
so
good
I'd
for
go to
you.
work, I would set it, and it would record it. I'd get home, and I'd watch it.
So you were able to get it to record, but the 12 o'clock still blinked every day.
Yeah, I never
So you
did
couldn't
the
set the time.
No, I didn't know how to do that.
No one can set the time.
So this guy, Mark Snow, his television work includes Heart to Heart, Starsky and Hutch,
Ooh, good one.
Smallville, The Love Boat,
Oh,
Dynasty, Cagney and Lacey, Pee-wee's Playhouse, The Boy in the Plastic Bubble. That's a movie.
Great movie. John Travolta.
And then 1996 Project Alf. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And 88's Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So this guy's he attended Juilliard School with his roommate. You're gonna love this.
I love it.
His roommate was a man named Michael Kamen. And this guy's worked with Pink Floyd, Queen, Eric. I mean, you go down the list; it's crazy. Queensryche, Rush, Metallica, Def Leppard. It goes on, but he had a successful partnership with one Mutt Lange
The Mutt
and Bryan Adams.
Oh, that's a combo.
They worked together on a song you might have known or you might have heard. It's called "Everything I Do, I Do It for You" for the 1991 film Robin Hood. He also did "All for Love" for the film The Three Musketeers.
Well, that's terrible.
He also did "Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman?"
That's
for the
worse.
film Don Juan DeMarco.
It's getting worse for him.
And he worked on the song "Star," which is a Bryan Adams song, for the film Jack in 1996.
A lot of films for you there, Brian.
Yeah. So
Well,
there you
BA hitting all the.
Yeah.
Mark Snow might be more famous than Jon Snow, although Jon saved the world. I don't know. It's close.
So that was for X-Files.
But John doesn't know Mutt Lange.
No, he doesn't.
Although maybe when he visited Mark, they went out to the Rainbow Room and took Mutt Lange and some of those rockers. And Jon Snow is in there in his fur coat with his sword.
Yeah,
I've been on the wall. That's what he would say. Okay.
The ladies would just flock to him.
And then they're like, yeah, we got it, John. Winter's coming. So that's fine. All right.
And Brian's like, I'm going to write a song about
Good
this.
for you. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I think I could write a song about that winter thing. Is that for a movie? All right. So we're going to our last honorable mention. Before we play this, I just want to preface that I never watched this show.
No.
I was too old.
No.
And I was an adult male, so I wouldn't have watched it. And two, I don't even really like this song.
No.
But it's so memorable and so locked into the 90s. That's why we made it an honorable mention.
All right, here you go. Mark your cards, folks.
Hints are Pacey, Joey.
How do you know these? You watched it.
Pop culture.
No.
They come up in the pop culture lexicon.
No.
Well, Katie Holmes was Joey.
Oh, see, now you're really giving it away.
I know Katie Holmes.
Vanderbeek.
I wasn't going to give that
Sorry,
one.
it's too much now. If they didn't get it by the opening.
Open up your morning light. Say a little prayer for right. You know that if we are to stay alive.
You really love this song.
See the love
I don't know if I love it. But it has a place in pop culture history.
There you go.
All right, the theme's song is I Don't Want to Wait by Paula Cole.
Yeah, that's right.
She actually released it as her second single from her album in 1996 and was then selected as the theme song for Dawson's Creek, which is what we're doing today, Dawson's Creek,
Mark your cards.
in 1998. But actually, there was an unaired pilot, and the first song used was Alanis Morissette's Hand in My Pocket as the theme song. However, Alanis saw the unaired pilot and then said they could not use her song.
I don't want you.
Don't know if it's because of the pilot, but it just said that. It said she decided after seeing the pilot, I don't want you using this song.
Yeah.
The producers then had to scramble. They were asking other artists, we need a song, we need this. But it was going on the WB. The WB.
Stupid frog.
Anyway, yeah. So the WB, but they they had just licensed all of Cole's music. So now they own it. So they threw this in front of them and go, hey, use this. And at first producers were like, I don't know if I like this. So they were asking. Nobody wanted to provide a theme song. So in the 11th hour, the producer said, we were like, yeah, just throw it in. We need something for the pilot. And it became like a historical, like as soon as you hear the first two notes, you're like, oh, Dawson and Pacey and Joey and all of the things.
Of those characters.
Well, it's in pop culture.
No,
Rob.
it's
these
not.
things pop up on like TikTok and all these other things. It's not rocket science.
All right, fine.
All right. But yeah, so in the 11th hour, they went with Paula Cole.
right.
They're like, throw it in there. And
Did
then
Paula Cole throw a
Turn
fit
up.
like Alanis?
no, she was fine.
Alanis?
In fact,
Alanis?
this song was her second single in '96. Didn't really chart. After it was on Dawson's Creek.
Crazy stuff, yeah.
You ever see on Price is Right, the little guy on the mountain? Oh, yodel, 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 yodel. Like where he goes up the mountain? The yodel thing?
So twice today referenced a game show.
Yeah. game shows were fun.
Jeopardy and Price is Right.
Yeah. So,
Right.
all right. So those were the bench players, if you will.
Yes.
Because I know you like sports analogies. But now it's time for the starters.
Okay.
All right. Rob and Dave's top 10
All right.
90s theme songs.
Yeah.
This list has been sealed and was delivered to us by a security firm Kip hired, so it wasn't leaked. I think it's the same people that guard like the Oscar envelopes. So, do we have some celebratory music?
I do.
I think we're ready. It's really good. I think that provides the exact mood we're looking for.
Just when I thought we couldn't get any cornier.
Yes. So I've got the Kip has released the briefcase to me. I know. We took the handcuff off of him.
What's going on today?
So with that, we're going to kick it off with our number 10.
Mark your cards, folks. My wife knows this one because I quizzed her already.
Everybody knows this. Everyone's going to know this one, except you.
I would have struggled with it.
This is really good. I really like it.
That's good.
I always think of Dr. Benton doing his punch in the hallway.
Yes, I do remember it. Like,
Yeah. Because
Like
he just
his
he just
ninja move.
He
just
saved
a life.
the day, I guess.
It's a little bit like X-Files. It's got an
No,
X-Files
it's
feel to it. Ooh, now it's getting more uplifting.
better than X-Files.
What?
I think so. I like the end.
Oh, there's some guitar coming in.
The end is really good.
I like it.
Beautiful. It just out.
Then credits
Credits.
or theme or title
Title.
scene.
Well, I think it's just the producer's name.
Yeah, commercial.
Yeah.
And then you come back. All
Okay.
right. Hey, there's well,
Does it have a
I gotta give you the title. It's gonna give it away. So if you have a mark your cards, do that now. It's called Theme from ER. That's what it's called.
Very.
It's composed by a guy named James Newton Howard. The show actually had several theme songs. So Howard scored the 2-hour pilot. Then a guy named Martin Davich scored all the subsequent episodes and wrote a new theme song used from 2006 to 2009 until the final episode when Howard, then the original guy, he came back. So we're going to talk about James Newton Howard because he's the guy that
I like
kind
him.
of the main one.
Yeah.
He scored over 100 films. He's a Grammy Award winner, an Emmy Award winner. He's been 9 times. 9 times nominated for an Academy Award. You may have heard his stuff on Pretty Woman, The Prince of Tides, The Fugitive, Dinosaur, it's an animated flick, The Village, King Kong, the newest one, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, the whole Fantastic
Wait a
Beasts.
minute. King Kong, the newest?
Yeah,
Not
like
the
1931
thing? Are you sure? Are you sure he's not 140 years old?
He's 152. Yeah.
All right.
He did the whole Fantastic Beasts trilogy, The Sixth Sense, I Am Legend, Hunger Games, the whole Hunger Games franchise, and Maleficent. He's worked really closely with M. Night Shyamalan.
Ooh, then I like the Shyamalan.
He was married to Rosanna Arquette in 86. They divorced. And then he was with Barbara Streisand. Interestingly, this band has come up more and more in this podcast. So in 84, he composed his first piece of score for a film on the movie, the David Lynch film, Dune.
Oh, Dune, good.
And that soundtrack was done by Toto.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He then worked on Toto's fourth studio album, Toto 4. The album received 3 Grammy Awards in 1983, including Album of the Year, Producer of the Year, and Record of the Year for Rosanna.
And was married to Rosanna Arquette, you said.
He was Rosanna
It
Arquette.
ties
See
all
what
back
I mean?
around.
It's crazy town.
He won awards for Rosanna, was married to Rosanna. They probably played that at their wedding.
Telling you.
Had to, right?
Well, there you go. So Toto's everywhere. It keeps coming back. You can't get rid of him.
Boom, boom, boom. And who would want to?
Right.
I love Toto.
Toto. Yeah.
Toto, I love
So that's
you.
a theme from ER from the show ER.
All right.
There you go.
That means we're on to our number 9.
Number 9.
It's not in any kind of order.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling, toss salads
I like
and
this one.
scrambled eggs.
Well, you said that about all of them. Oh, you didn't say it about Paula Cole.
And maybe
I
I
didn't like
seem
that.
a bit
Okay.
confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged.
Like this one. I like it.
But I don't know
It's very
what to do
diabolical.
with those tossed salads.
And scrambled eggs.
It's a maniacal laugh.
They're
Calling it again. Okay, yeah. Let's see if people at home are marking their cards. They know it. They're like,
know it.
The boy to do.
they're
What is
arguing
that?
with their significant other about what it's from. I know this. What is it?
I don't think anyone's arguing, particularly because he said it right at the end.
Oh,
So,
dang.
all right, this song is called Tossed Salad and Scrambled Eggs, performed by the star of Frasier, Kelsey Grammer.
That's right.
The song is an analogy of people calling Frasier with their problems. Tossed salads are confused people, and scrambled eggs are mentally unbalanced people.
Oh.
And the line they're calling again refers to the radio show.
Oh.
Basically, they wanted a theme song, but they thought we don't want to talk about mental problems
Yeah.
in the song, so they went with an analogy
Oh, that's really good.
when they wrote the song. Unlike all the other theme songs on our countdown today, that version we just played is played at the end of the show. At the beginning of the show is just a quick 20-second musical interlude that
Yeah.
shows the Seattle skyline that says
Yeah.
Frasier, and it goes right into the show. So this is one of the only ones I know. This is probably the only theme song I know that has become famous for the closing theme and not the
Yeah.
opening one.
I always thought it was
So-
at the beginning.
Nope, this
Oh,
only plays at the end of the show. Kelsey wanted it that way as it reinforced the unique style and status of Frasier among all other sitcoms. He seems like that's something
Yeah,
he would do.
he would.
Like he's like, let's do it this way, guys.
Right.
I don't
Let's
do a good Kelsey Grammer impression,
Let's
so
be
I won't try.
different.
The composer of the song, Bruce Miller, originally wanted Mel Torme to record it and didn't want Kelsey Grammer to do it. In fact, he fought against it. However, Kelsey won because the showrunner said, no, let's try Kelsey. And then Bruce Miller said, after he heard it, he said it was great and he made it his own interpretation.
Very
But he
good.
did want the Velvet Fog. He didn't want Kelsey Grammer.
like I said, he fought against it.
He fought against it. Just like Jon Snow on the wall. It's a running theme today. You see him on the wall. Bruce Miller. It's me, Jon Snow. I'm fighting against that Kelsey. That damn Kelsey Grammer. And his maniacal laugh.
Oh boy.
So,
all right. Well,
all right.
our number
We're on
eight.
to number 8. You know, so far, a lot of jazz.
Yeah.
Ish. Or
Yeah.
jazz inspired.
Ooh, that's
In the
it. People-
90s, we were getting a little jazz inspiration.
People are scratching their
No one's
noggins.
TV show's been on for 37 years.
And there's like 19 different offtakes of the
Everyone,
show. Yeah.
everyone immediately knows it. Even if you've never watched it, you're probably like, okay. Like when they go to commercial or they change scenes.
Ooh, I like the guitar.
What's
here at
that
the-
sound?
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
You've got it. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
Bum, bum. It is good guitar.
Yeah.
I just want to imagine some session guitarist with like a mullet, and he's wearing a windbreaker,
because I got
and
this.
he's just like,
I got this.
and then he's like, "Hey guys, try this out."
You know who he probably played for? Toto.
Toto.
Yeah.
He didn't play for Toto. He wasn't quite good enough because he's doing this,
He's a Toto region.
but he knew Toto.
That's right. He hung out with the guys.
In fact, they wrote him a letter of recommendation. This is from Lukather. Lukather wrote me this. So, all right.
If it's good enough for Lucas,
If it's good enough for
hey,
Lukather.
come on in.
Oh, by the way, can you get Lukather? Can we change him for you?
You're a bunch of dicks. All right. This is if you haven't marked your card, it's called The Theme of Law and Order.
Beautiful.
There's no composed by Mike Post, who came up a ton in our TV episode. His work includes
his whole life.
Law and Order, Law and Order Special Victims Unit, The A-Team, NYPD Blue, The Rockford Files, L.A. Law, Quantum Leap, Magnum P.I., Hill Street Blues. You
can just say 87% of the TV shows you watch,
Mike
he
Post.
wrote the theme
Yeah.
song for.
Interesting facts about this. The theme song was deliberately designed to be minimal to match the abbreviated style of the series. So the show was very like,
Yes.
boom, boom, boom.
Like
Post wrote the theme song using electric piano, guitar, and clarinet. In addition, the scene changes in the show were accompanied by a tone that you spoke of, generated by Post. He referred to that tone as the clang.
what they use to make the clang?
I don't know. Oh, I read that. Oh, I didn't include it. Dang it.
That's
In regards to the clang, there's a quote. It said, the tone moves the viewer from scene to scene, jumping forward in time with all the importance and immediacy of a judge's gavel, which is exactly what Post was aiming for when he created it, while reminiscent of a jail door slamming.
Nice.
The sound has become so associated with the Law and Order brand that it was also carried over to other series
Of
of the
course.
franchise. Yeah. Interesting fact about this guy, Mr. Post. He was also the producer of the Van Halen 3 album by the band Van Halen. And if you're not familiar with Van Halen 3, that is the one with Gary Cherone.
That's not good.
Yeah, it didn't do well.
Shouldn't have called him.
He had all of this great
You almost
accolades, and then he goes, "Oh, and then I did Van Halen 3."
You almost didn't produce a Van Halen album. We can say almost. That's not actually a thing.
Yeah.
So,
No.
all right, Law and Order, very good one, very memorable from the '90s into today because that show is still on TV.
It's still going.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Just
There's like Law and Order.
But we were there for the birth
Right.
of Law and Order.
Yeah. Law and Order.
SVU.
City Transportation.
That's correct. Yeah.
Law and Order.
Law
City
and Order.
Sanitation.
The parking violation folks. Parking folks.
And they're
So,
just checking out people who haven't paid their parking ticket.
yeah, you've been parked here for 3 hours.
Clang, clang.
Yep, ding, ding. $60. All right.
All right.
We're on to our number 7. Oh, I'm excited for this one.
Oh, you would.
You got to crank
Come
this.
on, people.
You got to crank this one up
Guess
a little
it.
bit. Maybe some of the best guitar all day.
I believe this is our longest one of the day.
I know, but I wanted all of it.
You did. In the notes, you're like, a little long.
It's a little long, but it's worth it. I think you got to hear the transitions. Makes sense.
You can see this in your head, can't you?
all the time.
You can see the intro.
I can see it all. I see the cuts to Brenda. I see the cuts to Kelly. I see the cuts to Steve.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Uh-oh.
That's saxophone.
See if the people are getting it at
Wonderful.
home.
Everyone has it. Oh, this is the good part right here. This is why I want the whole thing.
So angry.
You know why it's angry. Wait till you hear the guitar.
Yeah. You know who they're
This is Lukather.
Lukather wouldn't come close to this stupid show. He's like, no, I'm a respected artist.
Maybe.
I played with Toto.
That's high praise. Oh. I do like the end too.
We
So I
played
hear the whole thing.
thing.
Right here. Really good.
Oh my gosh.
All right. This doesn't have a name.
Doesn't have a name?
No, the theme song has no name. Or I couldn't find one. So this has been called one of the most recognizable instrumentals of the 1990s.
Oh.
Right? Not just theme songs, instrumentals of the 1990s, and was composed by John E. Davis.
Wow.
I don't know why that's exciting, but that's what it was composed by. This is the theme to Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh, that's it. Everybody's like,
I was quite a Beverly Hills 90210
You were.
guy. I watched it all the way into college. I when they transitioned to Valerie. I was there when Ray was beating up Tori Spelling.
I know nothing.
I know all of it.
Yeah.
Kelly when she was in the cult. Kelly when she got addicted to cocaine. Kelly when she caught on fire. I know it all. Peach Pit After Dark. There's a whole show built in
Even
here.
when I was in college, people
some
would
point.
get together
Yeah, and watch it.
and watch it.
'Cause it
that
was
was even
great.
in college. It wasn't that long ago.
It was great. It was fun. So, all right, this uses guitar riffs and saxophone solos to give it a younger rock sound, as well as a driving drum beat to make it feel edgy and stylish.
Ooh.
That's what it says.
Mission accomplished.
The hand claps at the beginning were added after recording and have since become one of the most recognizable memories of the song. When it starts off and you go, yeah, the
Didn't even
hand
hear
claps. And what's cool about the hand clap is everyone who knows 90210 is when you hear the hand clap, that's when Brandon does his fake face
Oh,
punch.
that's right.
You know, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's iconic, right?
Yeah.
And then he drops his sunglasses.
And you were quizzing me the other day about, when in the song when they introduced Dylan.
You Dylan, it's when the hard guitar hits in. It's perfect. And you know, because it's a little grimier, it's a little meaner, because that's what Dylan is. Dylan's a little grimier and he's a little meaner. Entertainment Weekly named the theme song number 15 on its list of the 25 best themes of the last 25 years. Wow. All right, so that's pretty good. I'll never forget the opening of the song because of the theme. So that's why it's on this list. I love it. What can I say? And even the outro guitar is perfect.
Yeah.
It just goes, "Wing," and it ends. And then we zoom in on Beverly Hills, the Walsh's house, and we're off and running.
There you go.
Emily Valentine. She tried to paint a float in his official Minnesota Twins jersey.
Oh.
Brandon was not happy that day.
No, that's not good.
All my 90210 fans out there, they're geeking right now. They're like, oh, Emily Valentine. She was not good.
She wasn't. She was a bad person.
Oh, she was. Yeah, she was in. She got Brandon good. She was a psycho. So, all right.
Psycho.
That takes us to. Did you have any questions about 90210? What is your comments on 90210?
I think you've told me everything I need to know.
No, I haven't even scratched the surface. We didn't even get into David Silver yet. And that's a whole other thing. His best friend shoots himself just for fun.
I don't know.
It's all good.
You're really ruining it for me. I'm really going to go watch them all.
Matthew Perry was on that an episode.
Okay.
He was a tennis prodigy with some troubles, mentally troubled. Anyway, so that takes us to our
like we're having to be like talk.
We got to be quiet.
We got to be quiet because somebody might.
We don't want to upset anybody. All right, that takes us to our number 6.
Number 6. Love it. Sing along if you know.
I'll give him a hint.
No hint.
This song is loosely associated with the movie Die Hard.
No, it's not. You made it associated. That's your association. But now people will go, oh, that's right.
there.
They've talked about it.
That's correct. This dude is a passionate singer.
I like this.
I love it.
The singing. It's great. I like how it ends too.
The piano?
And then it just fades off into the show.
Into the sunset.
This is the title of this is called As Days Go By. It was composed and performed by a guy named Jesse Frederick.
Yes.
He composed it and he performed it. It's for a show called Family Matters.
Did you get some Jesse Frederick info?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually the show, though, you would probably know this because you're all things pop culture.
Yes.
The first 5 episodes of this show what was the theme song? Do you know it?
It was different, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
It was What a Wonderful World by
right.
Louis Armstrong.
Yes.
So in the 80s, Frederick partnered with this guy named Paul Salve.
Good for him.
And the two of them became like a TV show songwriting duo.
Yes.
They're a force, a creative force, as you would say.
Yes.
Their work includes Everywhere You Look by Full House.
Yeah.
The theme song to Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And Nothing's Gonna Stop Me Now for Perfect Strangers.
Really good.
Yeah. Which Family Matters was a spin-off of Perfect Strangers. I don't think people remember that. So this song was sung by Frederick with a backup chorus of male singers. Family Matters was only a moderate success, and then Urkel hit the
and then it
became a huge thing. As Days Go By remained as the Family Matters theme in various forms until the beginning of the show's 7th season. It wasn't until the start of the series' 5th season in '93 that Frederick and Salve composed a closing version of As Days Go By, and it was a little hip hop.
There you go.
It had some saxophone in it.
Yeah, don't change it.
Interestingly, Frederick was also hired by The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, to compose, record, and perform an original song for the show's parody of themes for various TGIF shows, such as Family Matters and Full House. His music accompanied a cold open parodying of the show's intros and starred Fallon, Steve Higgins, and The Roots. He also did, and I watched it online, for the 2018 NBA draft. They did like a silly intro, like they're introing a 90s.
Nice.
And it had the draftees as the characters in the intro, and he sung it, and it sounded just like something that would have been from the 90s.
That would have been good.
And the song was called Play by Play.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway.
By the way, I believe, since I'm a Perfect Strangers person, I believe the spinoff came that the wife,
I was going to ask you, what is the spinoff?
I believe Harriet is the wife's name, Harriet Winslow.
Yeah.
I believe she worked in the same office building as Larry, Mark Lynn Baker, on Perfect Strangers. I believe they worked in the same office.
There you go.
And then they split into the Winslow family.
There you go.
I'm pretty confident that's what happened.
I was going to ask you. I didn't remember that.
That was her. I believe her and Larry worked together on Perfect Strangers, and then they spun it right into the Winslows because Powell had to move out.
That's right.
To Chicago, change his name to get away from what happened in L.A., and then the rest is history. So, all right, we are jumping into our top. Well, this is just going to get insane now. We're going into the top 5. Every one of these is an absolute
rare air
smasher.
Yeah.
We're going to make a new word. Everyone
Smasher?
uses banger and slap. We're going to say a smasher.
A smasher.
This is a smasher.
Here we go. Smasher.
Sounds more
number 5.
Sounds more proper.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh. People are like, number 5? How did this get to 5?
Let's see if people remember. You think people struggle with
They
this?
knew as soon as they heard the bell, Rob.
90s kids are going, oh. For some reason, I imagine our wives going, oh, for flip's sake. They would pick this?
My wife and I listen to this together.
You don't listen
Yeah.
to it together.
I think it's on our boudoir mix.
That's awesome. That's funny. That's funny.
This
This is on
guitar.
anybody's boudoir
This
mix.
guitar. Are you kidding me with that guitar?
You call
All
it
right.
a boudoir mix?
Yeah.
Oh.
I try to be fancy.
Okay.
All right. So this is one of my favorite all-time shows and one of the most iconic 90s theme songs. And the theme song is to Saved by the Bell.
There you go.
There you go. Famously studio exec. We covered this in our Saved by the Bell episode, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But famously studio exec Peter Engel hated the show title, Saved by the Bell, and told the composer Scott Gale, I don't want any theme song that uses the word Saved by the Bell. They wrote like 6 different songs. None of them were good, so they came in with one that was Saved by the Bell. And to this day, and it stuck because it was the best song. But in interviews to this day, Peter Engel says he's still upset that Gale did not follow his instructions.
Oh.
So anyway, no matter how popular it is, did not make him happy. The song is performed by Michael Damian, who also sang the 1989 hit song, Rock On, which we've covered on our worst of 87 to 89. So Michael Damian. The Saved by the Bell theme song symbolizes the carefree spirit of the 90s and has a timeless appeal, Rob. This theme song is considered a timeless classic
There you go.
of TV theme show songs.
I like it.
One of the most recognizable of all time.
All time.
And we got it at number 5. We'll just say we collaborated on this. I thought it maybe should have been a little higher, but we made a agreement that we put it here. We got the next one. You fought for the next one to be above Saved by the Bell.
Right.
I would have thought Saved by the Bell. I love the next one, but I would have thought Saved by the Bell above it. But you were pretty stern that you thought this was above.
Yeah.
So that gives us our number 4.
My number 4 is
No, we don't have a number 4.
we do have a number 4.
We're out of music.
It's my number 4.
It's our number 4. We picked them.
Here we go. Oh, there's a slow intro on this one. You gotta be patient.
It's worth the patience, especially if you remember how the theme goes, like the TV part of the theme.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bouncing.
Let's see if people get it. There's a lot of bounce. There is a lot of bounce.
Strong lyrics in this song too.
Some people stand in the darkness, afraid to step into the light.
I mean, that's poetry.
It's really good. I think we've used it on there.
And we
I
should.
think I used it as a cold opening. I don't think we got enough of it. I wanted to go a little longer because I like the chorus. But
You made the button. You could have gone as long as you
know.
wanted.
I didn't want to upset you though. You get so mad. You start throwing things.
Nope. I just want to make sure you get
In
the
our
right.
production meetings, you get so mad.
I just want to make sure you get the right versions this time.
Right here. I got that part because I wanted that part.
That's really good.
Yeah. Hey, so this is theme song. This theme song was composed by a man named John DeAndrea. I don't know how to say it. But the lyrics were by a guy named Jimmy Jameson. Interestingly enough, this show, the original opening theme was a song called for season 1. Do you know this? You know this.
I do.
It was called Save Me by one Peter Cetera. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then this song that we just played was for seasons 2 through 10. And then there was a different song for season 11 that was called Let Me Be the One. It was by somebody named Fiji.
Yeah,
Because apparently it was in Hawaii.
they moved to Hawaii.
Yeah, there you go. And so this is the song for the show Baywatch. There you go. So
beautiful.
you didn't get that. It's called I'm Always Here, also known as I'll Be Ready. Lyrics by Jimmy Jameson. Music is credited to a guy named Corey Lirios and John DeAndrea. The team won the 1997 Outstanding Music Direction and Composition for a Drama Series for Days of Our Lives. This song was used for season 2 through 10 we talked about. The team won an Emmy in 96 Top TV Series for Baywatch. They also won an Emmy in 1997 for Baywatch. I thought this was a little interesting. It said Songfacts website wrote that the line, "I won't let you out of my sight," whilst.
I like whilst.
I hate that word.
I use it as often as I
Do
can.
you?
Yeah.
Do you? While appropriate song for a TV series about lifeguards could be related to a commitment to a girl, telling her that the singer will always be there for her. However, the writer, Jameson himself, wrote in his original handwritten song notes that there was another meaning. I don't know. He said it's called a twist of lyrical fate. Lifeguards save thousands of lives each year. The producers of Baywatch thought these lyrics were only about those heroes, but every hero needs a little help from above to be able to do what they do. So I wrote these lyrics as if God was speaking to them and us, telling us all that he is always with us, watching over us.
Baywatch is much deeper than I would have thought.
I know, right? So
some people stand in the darkness.
yeah. And it goes on. Funny as it may seem, the only person who really understood the lyrics was a writer at Playboy magazine, who in one of their issues broke the song down line per line. Somebody had a lot of time on their hand. And explained that the song was really saying he was spot on. If I remember correctly, the heading of this article was Baywatch theme is obviously a Christian theme.
Yes, because
That's what people immediately go.
Because I can imagine most Playboy subscribers were excited to read the Baywatch lyrical breakdown. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Skim right past the Playmate of the Month. Where is the breakdown of the Baywatch song?
Right.
So, okay. So that takes us to our number 3. This is, you don't even have to be tested on this.
Here we go. Even I know this.
Yeah, everyone knows it.
People should know. Mark your cards.
I would say our top 3, you don't need cards. More little claps. Your love life's DOA, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, DOA. That's what he says. I never knew that. I didn't know the lyrics.
Oh, my goodness.
I never listened to the lyrics until now. Catchy.
All right, so this is I'll Be There For You by the Rembrandts for a little underground show called on NBC called Friends.
Yeah. I heard it didn't do very well.
It was on. It got a few seasons.
It struggled.
All right. Yeah. So this is a case where the theme song might be as recognizable as the show itself. Mm-hmm. Like when you hear that, like you probably can't separate one from the other. So interesting. However, this was not the creator's first choice for the theme of the show. Oh. They reached out to one REM, and they really wanted to use "Shiny Happy People." Uh-huh. That's the song they wanted for the theme.
Can you imagine?
But the band met. They gave them what the show was going to be about and refused to give them the rights to the song to what they called a silly little sitcom.
Yeah. And that show is like not a silly, it's all about like.
But Michael Stipe said his music didn't really go with sitcom shows.
That song is not.
Yeah. Michael Stipe. I mean, come on. I don't do sitcoms.
Super pretentious.
We're too good for that. Yeah. So the creators wrote this jingle. They wrote this.
Oh.
Okay, the creators did. With the help of composer Michael Skloff and songwriter Ailey Willis.
So this was not a song before?
No. They wrote
custom wrote for the song?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
It originally was under a minute long. Warner Brothers looked for a band to record it. And they wanted a band that they thought sounded like REM because that was the inspiration for the first song they wanted. And after asking a bunch of bands, they landed on the Rembrandts, who were not super well known. Yeah. Originally, they refused. They refused like 3 times. And then they needed money, so they relented. And I'm pretty sure a paycheck was involved. Because at some point, they said no 3 times, they said, and then the 4th time, they're like, okay, fine.
Yeah. How many zeros?
Stop calling us. Yeah, at what point was the right number given to them? So the band added the second verse. All right, so they just had the first verse. Yeah. They added the second verse, so it was a whole song, became their biggest mainstream success, top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100. The famous clapping part almost didn't make the final cut of the song. Originally, the band and the cast hated it, but the producers insisted on them doing it, and now it has become an iconic thing. That's right. So, but at first, all 6 cast members and the Rembrandts were like, this is dumb. We don't want to do this. And then they were like, nope, do it again. And then they did it again, and now it's a thing.
It's iconic.
So, forever. So, all right, Friends, Rob.
Friends.
They'll be there for you.
It's like we're friends.
Yeah, we're there for each other. Some people stand in the darkness, afraid to step into the light. But not us.
Not us.
Not Jon Snow.
That's right. Oh,
Not Mark Snow.
Or Mark Snow.
Or Matt Snow?
That's Mark.
Mark,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. He's 150.
The Snows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard they're going out this weekend to TGI Fridays.
With their sword. And
There's some new young hotshot bartender over there flipping drinks. And some Australian dude.
boy.
You think you can work at TGI Fridays? This is the big time, Flanagan.
with his
All right, so that takes us to
right.
our number 2.
number 2. Here it goes. Mark your cards, folks. Yeah, people don't know this. Do you think people will struggle with this one?
I think less people would know this than the Friends one.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because there's a faction of people that didn't watch this. I will say real quick before you give all your info, it's at our number 2 because I think it encapsulates the 90s.
Yeah.
It's super recognizable from the 90s. I won't say it's the best song on our list.
No.
Like from a composing standpoint, it's not like super creative.
Right.
Like it's just a quick little. It has like what 6 notes to it or something. It goes.
I don't know. I'm not
Does it
the
over?
music
Okay.
guy.
I'm sure you're gonna tell us, but it's kind of like they recorded a little and then they just kind of repeated it over and over again. So I would say a couple of our singing songs are better songs, but I think because of what this show is,
Yeah.
and because of the popularity, and just because it's the 90s,
Yeah.
this feels like the 90s. So that's why we have it at number 2.
I agree. I disagree with you on some of those, but here we go. So this song. I could not find a name for it, but it was composed by.
It's called Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo.
There you go.
There you go.
It was composed by a man named Jonathan Wolfe. And when talking about how he came about creating this song for the series Seinfeld, Wolfe explained, "I noticed that Jerry was a lyrical delivery, has a lyrical delivery to his jokes, and I put a clock on it, about 110 beats per minute, and that became the tempo of the Seinfeld theme." So he built the song.
Nice.
And that's why I disagree a little bit when we were like, oh, it just got 6 notes. The more I read about it, it's pretty impressive. So he did his own beatboxing. There's some beatboxing in there if you haven't ever noticed. He performed the signature bass line himself, but he didn't use a bass. It wasn't a bass. It was a synthesizer.
He was not slapping a bass?
No, he wasn't slapping a bass. He was slapping the old
Slapping the synth.
Yeah, the synthesizer. NBC tried to change the theme at one point, and Larry David came in, and he said he liked the annoying qualities of Wolf's original.
Yep.
For each show, I thought this was pretty impressive. For each show, Wolf would get a copy and simply improvise along with the rhythm of the jokes in the edit. Each centered around the cadence of Jerry's spoken word delivery. Throughout the show, the main theme could be restyled in different ways. So, for example, there was a show called The Betrayal, which takes place in India, and the theme that uses a sitar, so they could kind of compose it. But really, every episode had a different version.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same cut every time. It was different every show. And where have you heard this guy's work? Wolf is also the composer for about 75 other TV series, including Will and Grace, Who's the Boss, Married with Children, The Hughleys, King of Queens, Reba. I know how much you love
Reba.
And 19 episodes of Saved by the Bell the college years.
Oh, good.
There you go.
There was a little different song on that one.
Yeah. 9 seasons of Seinfeld afforded Wolf the luxury of retiring and moving to Kentucky in 2005. So it did well for him.
Who retires to Kentucky?
I don't know. Today he spends his time lecturing, having spoken to all 8 Ivy League schools.
Wow.
There you go. He's a
Nice.
public speaker. He was able to retire off that little ditty.
To Kentucky. Well, yeah, of course
to
it was.
Kentucky.
To Kentucky.
Yeah.
No, people retire to Florida, to Arizona,
Right.
Texas.
Yeah, no.
Nobody retires to Kentucky.
I don't know.
Get some horses and
I don't know what he does. Yeah.
drink some bourbon,
Yeah.
hang out with them Kentuckians. Is that their accent? I think that's accurate.
You think so?
Yeah, for our Kentucky audience, let me know if that's right.
Well, Kentucky's just a couple states over.
Just right next to Idaho. With the rest of the states, apparently.
right next to Idaho.
You and Maps don't have a good
What are you talking about?
good relationship. We drove through Kentucky one time.
Yeah.
The wife
How
and
was
I.
that?
It looked like a state. Had some grass, had some things. I don't remember anything super significant, so it's like
Had some
okay.
grass, has some things.
It was not as boring as Kansas. So for all my Kansas listeners, sorry.
Yeah.
I've driven through that state multiple times, and it's not my favorite.
That's how I feel about South Dakota.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You can go Rapid City. You can go Sioux Falls.
Okay.
You don't need to see anything in between. Go see Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Go over to Sioux Falls. I don't know really.
But you got to get from one to the other.
But yeah, there's nothing in between.
There's got to be something.
Just fly.
It's got to be something in
There's
between.
nothing. No.
The plains or like
No, there's nothing. No.
nothing.
No. You can go-
Okay.
there's a little town called Murdo.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Isn't that where they do the motorcycles?
Oh yeah, there's Sturgis. Yeah,
Is that Murdo?
Yeah, it's closer to like the other side. It's closer to Rapid City.
Oh, so it's not Murdo.
No, Murdo. No, Murdo is where they have the car museum.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sturgis, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not a Harley guy, so I won't remember that
Really?
all the time. Well, I remember it now.
I think people probably at home are like, really? He seems like a motorcycle.
But
guy."
when you said Murdo, I thought maybe that's where it was. That's where like 10,000 motorcycles show up every year.
They go through there though. Yeah.
They go through Murdo?
Yeah, well, they from the whole freeway. It's crazy town.
I would like to hear if anyone who's listening has been to
through there in August.
Sturgis.
We went through there in August.
Have
one
they
time.
been to Murdo?
Oh, I bet they have. We broke down in Murdo.
Hey,
We had to
our
spend like 5 days in Murdo. It sucked.
friends on Pop Culture,
Yeah.
I think some of them have been in South Dakota.
Oh, absolutely.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Sioux Falls.
I think you've had that conversation.
have,
Do you think
yeah.
they've been to Murdo?
I think they mentioned Brookings. Oh, I'm sure they know where Murdo is. There's no,
We'll check.
Murdo's probably the only place between Sioux Falls and Rapid City. Murdo.
Okay.
Done.
We'll check with Brad, Giff, and Pete and see if they're going to be like, we think he's making that up.
The folks at the Ford dealership at
Murdo.
Murdo are very nice people.
Are they?
Yeah, they put us up at a little.
Bed and breakfast?
No, it was a camp. We had to sleep in our camp trailer for 5 days. It was,
Oh,
it was
okay.
awful.
Why not a B&B?
They didn't have that.
Oh, okay. Not in Murdo?
Not in Murdo. No, they didn't have that.
There wasn't a barn converted into something?
There was a bar there. Yeah.
Barn.
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 Oh, there was a bar though. I found the bar.
Do you know Murdo, South Dakota's probably never had this much airtime in their life?
They haven't.
Nope.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. My wife hated it so much. The next time we drove through, they said, "You want to stop at Murdo?" She goes, "Nope, keep on driving."
Is there at least like a Carl's Jr.
No,
or something?
there's nothing.
No
There's
food?
There's a little diner.
What's it called?
I don't remember.
The Murto Diner?
I don't know. It's right next to the car museum.
Sounds about right. So, all right. Well, that means it's time, Rob.
All right.
Hold on. I get it.
Do you want the trumpet?
Oh, we already had the trumpet.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to trumpet too much.
We can pull the trumpet guy back in. He's just sitting out there.
All right. Pull in the trumpet guy.
Trumpet guy. All right, here he comes.
Sounds so regal.
I figure we're paying him by the hour. We might as
I
well
feel like
get the most out of him.
I feel like the King of England or something. Hey, number one.
Anyway,
That wasn't right.
I don't know what that was. Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. So this is our number one.
Here it goes.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped.
See if people know this one.
And I'd like to take a minute.
Come on.
Just sit right
Everybody
there.
knows this
I'll
one.
tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel
Anyone who listens to our show and doesn't know this one, I would be confused.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all shooting some b-ball outside of the school. And a couple of guys who were up
When the
to
basketball
good.
hits the guy,
Started
it's fun.
making trouble
He
in
does a
my
little fist.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
I got in one
Well, and
little
they
fight,
do
and
like
my mom got scared.
fast
They said, "You're
speed."
moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. I whistled for a cab, and when it came near, the license plate said fresh and it had dice in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but I thought, man, forget it. Yo, home's a Bel Air.
I pull. I love that
To the
part.
house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie, yo, home, smell you later. Looked at my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air.
Look at the door. He does his
Oh yeah.
little head shake.
I remember the first time I saw that show, he was wearing the Jordan 5s,
Uh-huh.
and they weren't out yet.
And you're like, I gotta have this.
And I saw them, and I was like looking at the TV, and I was like telling my dad, he's got on a new Jordan. Like I had heard of it. Like I think Jordan himself was wearing them, but I'd never seen another person wearing them.
Outside of
because
Jordan.
Jordan would get them to play in
Right.
before they released them. But Will Smith got his hands on a pair of them, and he's wearing them in the thing. And so it was super exciting. I remember seeing the 5s. So spoiling all that,
You're
this
a
is the
chic guy.
theme song to The Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
There you go.
Right? One of my favorite shows of the early 90s. I watched every episode. Loved it. This does what I love in a theme song. It explains the entire premise of the show for you in less than 90 seconds, Rob. Tells you exactly what the show's
Everything.
about.
Yeah.
Got in a fight, got to move up, got to live with Bel Air.
Yeah.
I got to do all the things.
I like it.
Right? So I've never had a chance to tell anyone, "Yo home, smell you later." I've never said that to anyone. I think I missed out.
That's our challenge this week.
But I don't think anybody's. I don't think anybody's
figure out a
gonna.
way to get into a conversation this week.
But nobody's gonna get that now.
Well, what if? Who cares?
So, like, if I'm just leaving from someone having a conversation, go, "You home? Smell you later."
Yeah, or if like somebody comes into your
not
office
gonna
and
have
drops something off, you can just say,
Any
"Thanks.
idea what's going on?
Yo home, smell you later."
All right.
Try it. And then report out next week, and we'll see
Well,
how
this has kind of the same opening theme of like the 80s. It has that structure of the 80s because it kind of tells you what it's doing, but it does it much cooler because it's got a hip hop rap element to it, Rob. So this isn't like old Alan Thicke singing his "Show me that smile." Anyway, the theme song is. I had a T-shirt once.
With Alan
I no
Thicke on
longer
it?
no. I wish I had an Alan Thicke T-shirt. Now that you mention it, but I had a T-shirt and it said "Fresh Prince air conditioners," and the dials you could turn to said "Chilling out, maxing, relaxing."
Oh, that's really good.
All cool.
That's
That
good.
was my. I had one person in a mall town one time come up to me and go, "Oh, that's
I like that.
I like your shirt."
Yeah.
Just one, though. Not everybody got it. Okay, the theme song is actually called Yo Home to Bel Air, written and performed by the Fresh Prince, with the music being composed by the one and only Quincy Jones. Quincy also composed the music that was used to transition between scenes and to the commercial breaks. Jones was actually supposed to come up with the theme song, but Jazzy Jeff told Will Smith they should write it, and after it was completed, they presented it to Jones, who immediately loved it and said, "Yep, that's the show." This song was released as a single only in Spain and the Netherlands, never in the United States. It was a B-side for Parents Just Don't Understand. It was ranked number 7 on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 greatest TV theme songs, right between Friends at number 8 and The Twilight Zone at number 6. So rarefied air. Okay. Finally, it has been written, and I found it in many spots, that West Philadelphia, born and raised, is one of the most famous opening lines for a TV theme ever. Like, all time.
I could see that.
Of all songs. Yeah. Just like any great theme song, the rhythm and style of the song captures the entire theme and tone of the show. If you watch the opening and you hear the theme song, you know what the Fresh Prince is all about before you watch any part of the show.
My kids even sing the song now, and I don't think they've actually watched the show. I don't think so.
It's fantastic.
I don't know.
I love that show.
I don't watch what they watch. So.
We'll probably have a Fresh Prince time on this podcast because I love the Fresh Prince.
You did.
I love Uncle Phil. No. I love Jeffrey the Butler. I like when he throws Jazz out the door. Yeah. I liked Hillary. Hillary was good.
Hillary? That's sister.
The older sister. Yeah.
You like the mom.
I like the first mom.
The first one. We had a discussion on our mom's episode.
When they switched out the Vivians.
Yeah. You like the first Vivian.
I like the first Vivian better.
Yeah.
She was better.
Yeah.
The second one was a little she was a little more boring.
Yeah.
The first one had some pizzazz. She had some snap.
Yeah.
She had what they call je ne sais quoi. Is that right? I don't know if I'm using that right. Anyway, that's what I'm going to say.
You know I don't speak Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish. So, all right, Rob. Well, the briefcase is empty. So that's our countdown. That was our top 10. Our indisputable, as I said, top 10. So what stood out? What was the best song for you?
Ooh.
And what was, we picked all these, so you shouldn't have a worst. But
the best?
If you had to say one that you could live without, what was the best one and what was the one you could live without?
Oh, the one that I could live without? 90210.
You are out of your mind. You should leave the studio right now. Even Kip thinks you're crazy. That's I don't ever tell you say dumb things, so this might be the first time ever. That's a dumb thing to
say. Don't say it.
You said it.
It's your tone.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's nicer. It's nicer to give it a tone than to actually say, "Excuse me, sir, you're dumb." So then you're just like, "Oh, is that really what you want to say?" The tone works better. So yes, I think for the first time in our podcast, or maybe the 10th, I don't know.
That's funny.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
So, do you want to retract that, or do you want to try again?
No.
You really think that's worse than the Dawson's Creek song?
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty bad.
All right,
that's pretty bad.
You're out of your mind.
I'll take Dawson Creek off, and I'm gonna go with Frasier. I like the Frasier one. Is my favorite one.
That's your favorite?
I do. I just think it's funny.
Oh, I thought Ren and Stimpy was your favorite.
It is, but it was an honorable mention.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I went with
So if we go on the actual top 10,
Frasier.
Then you're saying Frasier the best.
Well, my favorite one is Ren and Stimpy.
90210 the worst.
No, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, out of your mind. Okay. So if
I don't like it.
Yeah, if I'm doing of our top 10, I don't have a worst. I love the top 10.
You didn't tell me that was an option.
Well, I'm making it an option. So my favorite is, it's tough. 90210 is so good.
Oh my God.
Saved by the Bell, so good. but I'm going to go with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I knew you
We
would.
have it at number one.
You
I
were
think it's
adamant
my
about
favorite.
that when we were
It's
putting it on the list.
That was the first thing I said. This is on, and then we don't discuss anything else until we establish that this is on the list. So, any that we didn't include because we discussed hundreds of songs.
I don't remember. Were there any that we kind of cut?
I kind of liked Martin.
Oh, we talked about Martin.
Make me, I like that. I like the Beavis and Butthead theme song.
Yeah, that
it's
was
very memorable. Step by Step was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Doogie Howser, I thought's okay.
When did that show come out? Was it 90s show?
It came out in
I was
'89,
gonna say,
but it was like the fall of '89.
yeah. So that
To be
counts.
fair, Family
It was a 90s
Matters.
show.
Family Matters was September of '89, and so was Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But they're '90s shows.
No, yeah, that's
no one's disputing that. So no, I mean, Martin was okay. I think we got everything.
I think we got the top one.
Other people might say like Roseanne to us.
yeah,
I
yeah.
could see Roseanne coming up.
Yeah.
But I've been on the record. I don't like the Roseanne theme song.
I know. Well, I don't think you like the show.
I don't like the show. Don't love the theme song. I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
I think everybody's got this feeling of, oh, it looked just like my house. I don't want to watch a show that looks like my house.
You're like, I want to watch
Right.
the Seavers.
Yeah, I know what my house looks like. I don't need to see it on television. I don't need to relive that. I want to live vicariously through
the
the
Seavers.
Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I want to live in Bel Air.
Yeah.
So
That's the-
yeah. So I'm gonna watch Roseanne. Yeah. She's got clothes thrown on her couch. Yeah, I know. That I live that way too. I don't need a TV show to tell me
I
that.
don't really live that on
So-
Thursday night.
Yeah. Thanks, but no thanks. We'll move on. So
I want to escape.
that's what I'm there for.
Yeah.
Escapism.
That's right.
So okay. So you, anything else that stood out to you
No.
from our list today?
No, it was great.
Okay, it was good.
It was good.
We covered a lot. We covered a lot,
did.
Rob. Jon Snow.
We did.
We talked about
my amazing geography skills.
yeah, very good. We talked about that town I've already forgotten about in South Dakota. Murdo.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, fans, if you've loved today's episode, let us know. Follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Drop us a comment with your favorite 90s TV show theme song or any 80s and 90s nostalgia you'd like us to cover. We have a YouTube channel, so you can go subscribe to that. You can watch the magic of us making each episode. We're very good at sitting and talking into our microphones. We've almost perfected that. We're getting really close. If just hearing us isn't enough, climb on over there. You can check us out. You can find any of these links on our show notes, or you can Google 80s, 90s Recall. And we promise, just like that show Friends, we'll be there for you. Yeah?
That's really good.
It's like a dad joke. So
That was really good. I thought it was funny.
yeah, it was well
Yeah, it
timed.
was
Well
good.
timed.
Yeah, it was good.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done. Yeah. See, all of us here at the Total 80s and 90s Recall team want you to know that we know that making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. We also want to remind you that taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? If so, the Total 80s and 90s Recall podcast is the perfect complement to your listening experience and the perfect antidote to modern life. Do you sometimes wish you could go where everybody knows your name and they're always glad you came? If so, visit Total 80s 90s Recall at podbean.com. Do you sometimes wish you were in a place where you can see our troubles are all the same? Do you want to be where everybody knows your name? Send us an email at 80s90srecall at gmail.com. Let the Total 80s and 90s Recall team help you appreciate the present by indulging in a healthy dose of the good old days.
Yes.
There you go.
And when I talk about you can see the magic on the YouTube, you would have gotten to see real-time me checking my text messages while Rob did his closing piece. So, all right. Finally, you can help drive the show's visibility by giving us a 5-star rating and leaving a review for us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to our show, and you can give comments. We would really appreciate it. Don't be shy. Let us know. Our favorite thing is getting feedback comments. We love interacting with the listeners. So go on the social medias. Tell us what you think. Talk to us. We don't bite hard. No. Okay. Anyway, it'll be a great time. We're all going to have fun over there. So, Rob, do you have any closing
I
thoughts?
do. I have a closing statement. Although modern shows often explore more complex themes, have diverse representation, and benefit from advancements in production quality, the Totally 80s and 90s Recall team believes 90s television is better due to a combination of factors that include the nostalgic factor. These shows bring back positive memories and a sense of comfort. Number 2, slower pace. 90s shows included deliberate storylines and less rapid plot changes. This allowed for character development and deeper engagement. Number 3, classic themes and characters. Iconic shows from the 90s featured relatable characters. We spoke about like Urkel and storylines that resonated with a wide audience. Number 4, strong ensemble cast. 90s shows had a well-developed ensemble cast with strong chemistry between actors. And number 5, memorable theme songs, which we spoke today. Ultimately, we believe the 90s TV created a shared culture experience. The positive memories associated with watching 90s television shows during our childhood unapologetically colored our perception of the 90s TV that is, in our opinion, superior.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Much superior.
Yeah.
Not questionable.
There you go.
All right. Well, West Philly to Bel Air, the stress of emergency medicine, or just trying to catch that bus on time. A great theme song can take you back to some of your favorite TV shows. But just like the closing credits and that sad feeling you get, that's going to bring us to the end of this week's episode as we've discussed our favorite TV theme songs of the 1990s.
Nice.
If you like today's musical choices and would like to hear all the songs in full, they're all available online at YouTube in their original versions, so I would highly recommend you go over there. You can watch the opening credits and hear the theme song and you really get that nostalgic feel. Also, if you're interested in there are some versions on Spotify and Apple, but they're all covers and some of them are recreated weird. I would highly recommend staying away from those, but if it's something you want to do, go over there, have a good time. So finally, a big shout out to you, our awesome listeners. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you're a longtime subscriber, we can't thank you enough for hanging out with us this week. Hopefully, we brought you an hour or so of some laughs and memories, and we have warned you as well that winter is coming. And don't forget to listen to all new episodes of Totally 80s and 90s Recall every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. We haven't missed one yet.
Nope.
What is our homework for next time?
Holy shnikes.
Yeah.
This episode's going to be like
Well
a
played.
10, Rob. All right. We are hitting, I don't know, might be one of, I think it's one of our favorite movies.
I love this movie.
It's from 1995. It stars Chris Farley, David Spade. It's going to be Tommy Boy.
This will be fun.
I've got so much for this. It's going to be a good time. So there's going to be lots of laughs.
The Hound back in the house?
Of course.
Yeah.
He would not miss Tommy Boy.
No, that's
All right.
that's fun.
There might be movies he would be like less excited to review, but Tommy Boy would not be one of those.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll have plenty of very nice observations.
Yeah,
Not offensive and or controversial. I'm sure they'll be right above bar
right.
the whole time.
Right, it'll be
So
PG all the way.
now, have you decided over there what our theme outro is going to be today?
I have.
I don't get any input on this.
I know what it's going to be.
No. I feel like you're going to... I feel like I want to go out with some good guitar and saxophone is what I feel like I want today. But that's all right. Well, do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Am I going to like the outro?
You're going to love the outro.
Fancy goodbye?
No fancy goodbye.
All right.
Peace out.
That's the one I wanted.
I knew you did.
I said I want some saxophone and some guitar. Oh, I should have lived in Beverly Hills. That'd have been fantastic.
What would you have been? Would you have been...
I would have been Brandon.
would you-
Yeah. I mean, come on. Write for the newspaper,
yeah.
work at the beach pit, slinging hash
Slinging.
for the rich kids in town.
Nobody slings that.
Yeah, me and Matt, we're slinging hash. Burgers, fries. Dylan's got to eat. Steve's got to eat. They all got to eat.
Sling.
Slinging hash for the West Beverly jerks.